It's impossible to put into words, Tess. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime. I grew up in Southern California, and there's just entire neighborhoods here in the Pacific Palisades that are gone. And we're actually standing right now on Sunset Boulevard in the Pacific Palisades Village shopping area, a really recognizable spot. Just behind us here is a building more than 100 years old. This was a Starbucks, really just kind of an iconic location here on the corner, something that meant a lot to a lot of people in this particular area. And really the concern for fire crews is going to be the winds. As we just kind of give you a look at this building, there's some of these tables outside, but everything inside is just destroyed. So again, really tough to see some of this, not just on these businesses, of course, but in these homes across the area. And I want to show you of a home that's just to the north of us. It's just a walk away. This is on Hartzell Street. So this is a home, a picture of that home just a few years ago, and sadly this is what it looks like today. It was destroyed. So just some perspective for you, because seeing these images, it's kind of hard to imagine even what it looked like. A friend who grew up in Phoenix says her grandparents actually lived on this property. They bought the original home for about $25,000 back in the 50s. So this is just heartbreaking for so many of those families who've lived here for decades. They have decades of memories. Their livelihood's gone. Now, the focus this weekend for the fire crews was really preventing the Palisades fire from spreading into neighborhoods in the Brentwood area. We were out with fire crews in the Mandeville Canyon area this weekend. They were doing aerial drops on the flames that were getting close to some of those homes. Now, this was not far from UCLA, just off the 405. So thankfully, those flames at this point have not hopped over the canyon and down to the freeway. Crews are still trying to get a handle on this, as we're expecting more wind. I mean, 60 possibly miles per hour. It's not expected to be as damaging as last week, but this is not what the fire crews want. While crews are working on this really around the clock, one thing is abundantly clear from everyone we've spoken to: even if your home has survived, you know someone who is not as lucky.
I had one friend, 4 kids. She rushed out as quick as she could, grabbed the 2 dogs, and that is it. Whatever they were wearing is what they have. Don't forget about us. It's not something that's going to be taken care of by just these volunteers within a week. This is something that's going to take years to rebuild.
Yeah, and that was a volunteer we met over the weekend. A really good point she made. This is going to take a very long time. We'll talk a little bit more about that throughout the morning. But this is a live look, actually, at some of the National Guard troops. So just across the street from where we are on Sunset, there's this row of businesses that are okay. And over the weekend, the Sheriff's Department reports that there was a man pretending to be a firefighter trying to get into this evacuated area. So the National Guard is here driving in off of from the 10 to PCH. There's just an immense fire and police presence as well. And Tess and Scott, one of the reasons why these areas are still evacuated, there's frustrated people who would like to get back into their homes if they're still standing, but there's power lines down. There's still smoldering in some of these hot spots. And with those winds, they say the threat is not over. They really don't want to let people back into their homes if they know it's not safe yet. And these neighborhoods are not safe yet.
Yeah. Hey, Whitney, how bad is the smoky smell just as you're reporting around town?
So I will say today has probably been the best in terms of the air quality. When we arrived on Friday, it was really awful throughout Southern California and Pasadena because of the Eaton fire. I will say today we see these clear skies, and we had a little bit of that yesterday. So we can, we're standing in front of this charred building, so we certainly smell that, but the air quality certainly seems better than it has been in previous days.
All right, it's a long road. These next couple of days certainly critical in the firefight. Whitney, thank you so much. We'll see you again in our 9 o'clock hour.